Now, you just mentioned that, you believe, or the Chinese say it takes 10,000 hours to do something. I actually got into a debate with someone on Twitter yesterday, someone who I believe is from Oak Ridge. I'm not sure. They called her Bella. I think she's an assistant trainer. I don't know who the young lady is. But her tweet said something to the effect that, kids who dunk all the time are hyped or overhyped, whereas you have kids who are actually working out hard and they don't get noticed because they don't dunk. And my response was, what makes you think that kids who are dunking all the time don't work really hard? Because I know what I do with my son, and I know I've offered that to many people. I've trained many people over the last 4 or 5 years who could not keep up. Yes. Because it is grueling. For some people who see the flash in Niven, or, I call him, he's like a rock star. Yes. He just has that persona. But people really don't understand how hard he works. No. They just think he just goes to the games and play. Yeah. Do you now anyone who does any type of training, whether it be on the court, off the court, or what have you, they're gonna know that's nonsense. You know the kid has to be working hard when you see him from the 9th to the through the 12th grade. Yes, sir. Do you want to talk about how dedicated he is for those who are not in the know, who are assuming that this kid isn't working hard?
To just, I don't want to say just annihilate her theory, or what she's saying is, if dunking is nothing, why doesn't everybody have the ability to dunk? And dunk is only 2 points. So if you dunk and I hit a 3, and you dunk and I hit a 3, at the end of the game, I'm still winning because I got 6 points and you got 4. So I'm not taking away from 3-point scoring or layups or shooting, but dunking is one of the things that all basketball players strive to do. It is something that, well, not all, I can't say all because I haven't met everybody, but many basketball players strive to have that physical ability to dunk. So for a person who would not know what goes into this, Niven is at my house 3.5 hours at a time straight on the elliptical at some nights. Some nights we're running 2 miles backwards, And a lot of people, try to run 2 miles backwards if you've never tried it before. So he's laying on the floor with a 4-pound ball, shooting the ball up for 4 and 5 minute reps, 6 and 7 reps a night. So there's constant work going in and out, in and out, in and out. Him, Emmanuel, and Caleb, I have them on 2-hour jump ropes. 30 minutes jumping rope, 5-minute break, 30 minutes jumping rope, 5 minutes breaks for 2 hours. There's a lot of work that goes into being able to do this. And I think with him and KJ and kids like that, what they don't understand is not only do they consistently do this, they do it and remain almost injury-free. Because, see, there's a process that goes into this. An hour before the game night, like if he plays Thursday night, an hour before bedtime, we do a whole body breakdown, which is a complete alcohol rub down, a popping of the joints and releasing all the lactic acid in the muscles. There is a science behind this. I heard from a smart guy named Coach Campbell a long time ago, kids are not born pros. Pros are created. And people don't want to spend the time, the money, the resources, and the networking to create pros. And that's why so many kids who are gifted talent-wise don't become pros, because I believe many people don't buy into the system of creating a pro. So a pro is not you just going to walk out from, high school, I'm a pro. What about your mental state? What about your dedication to training? What about your ability to ignore the distractions of life as they come? So to, again, not just destroy what she's saying, it takes a lot of talent, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication to be able to perform the way these kids perform. And most of Niven's greatest dunks on video come in the third and the fourth quarter, because most of the other team are tired by then, and he's not. So when you get tired on defense, you tend to make mistakes or you lag back, and that's when the explosiveness kicks in, and before you realize it, you're on a highlight. So it takes a lot of work to do that. So I totally disagree with what it said, if that's the case.
Okay, awesome. All right, so now I want to go into Niven a little bit. We've dismissed the myth that he doesn't work hard, which is just silly, And you've worked my son out. I've worked your son out. Terry You know, you mentioned Caleb. He's worked
Great
our
kid.
sons out. We've worked his son out. And I think it's like you said, we're all trying to help our kids reach the highest potential and get paid to play this game someday that they do love. And through the process, they have to go through a mental adjustment to understand everything that it takes to become that, which you spoke of earlier, or you alluded to in your ice bucket movement. You know, some of the things that you guys focus on. All right, Niven, when I first met you, I was like, well, Mr. Hart, he's gonna get better focus-wise. He lacked focus at the time. And I said, my son has the same issue, but each year he gets a little better. KJ never reached the point that I wanted him to reach with the focus, but it's better now. Where is Niven's focus as far as you're concerned? Where is he at now on that road to becoming a pro?
His mindset, again, as a father, is not where I want it to be. But at his age and considering the circumstances that he grew up with, he's doing great. Because he's trouble past. You know, he has a lot of things in his youth. And from I think a lot of educators or people who study children at a younger age say from 0 to 7, there's those early developmental years where kids get their structure, their grounding, their rules, and all that stuff. So I didn't meet him until he was almost 8. So those years, and I'm not putting down who did raise him, but there was no structure implemented there. So in my house, there's rules. You go into bed at a certain time. You're not going to eat this. No, this person can't come over. No, you can't watch that on TV. I know my kids listen to rap music with cursing and all that stuff in it, but they can't listen to it in my house with it. Because I believe whatever you feed your mind eventually comes out of your mouth. So if you don't realize that you are what you eat, whether it's TV, music, food, the people you hang around, all of that constitutes to who you are as a person. He didn't have that concept. So if you look at my older daughter and my older son, you know, they're almost military minded. You know, master's degree, no kids, My other son, I don't have to tell him to come home, clean the house up. The house is clean. I don't have to tell him to wash dishes. He washes dishes. So Niven didn't have that early on. So it's been an adjustment to him. I still believe, and I tweeted this morning, he put a tweet and I agreed with him on it, that this is still his year. And I believe that a lot of people don't understand every path is not the same for every kid. Some of the most talented kids, they label the most troublesome kids because you never take the time to understand how their mind works. Some kids do stuff just for attention. Others do stuff out of anger. Others do things just because they haven't been taught not to do them. So if you don't know the person personally, it is dangerous to try to label that person based off a broad paint stroke of what you think every other kid should be doing. Some kids have 2-family households with a lot of money. Some people have 1-family households with a lot of money. Some people have both parents home and they're dead broke. Or most kids in the hood are being raised by a single-parent household. And all that affects your dynamic of how you view yourself, how you look at the world, what do you think success is, and all that. So between me, you, my brother, my cousin up in Ocala, all of us have tried to remold his mind in the way he thinks. Good kid, good heart. Certain things to me he doesn't take as serious as he should, when he should. And I believe it has cost him dearly in that area. Because there's no way in the world he shouldn't be ranked.
Agreed, absolutely.
There's no way in the world he shouldn't be recruited by high D1 schools right now.
Absolutely.
But his 11th grade year, didn't take school serious. You tried to help him, I tried to help him. So like I told him, your lack of effort in those areas have bit you in the butt. But now, you're clearinghouse ready. You got your SAT scores, but still the schools aren't there. And I personally believe because a shadow or stigma has been cast on him to where coaches aren't looking at him that way because somebody has so-called tainted the pool. Or put a drop of ink in the water to where it's like, do I really want to be bothered with this kid? And not saying because he's my son, but he's not a bad kid.